What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? We're going to be starting here in a minute. We're just letting all the YouTube notifications go out. Well, this is abnormal. Who's this at the top? We got Jason, Ham Radio 2.0. First, mixing sour mash. Yes, that's what we were doing. Over the weekend, we went to a brewery and we're talking about mash. Bill! What is up, man? How you doing? We're gonna have some fun. Wayne is in attendance. Thank you, Wayne. Hope that you're traveling safe. Tekken video. Howdy everyone, I'm ready to hear whatever Tank Radio has to say about Meshtastic. I love it. I love it. Alright, we're going to be starting here in a minute, so I'll be right back. Freddy! What is going on, Paul? Go live and everyone comes out of the woodwork. Alright, let's go ahead and get started. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? I'm Frank KG5AHJ. You gotta love that enthusiasm. You gotta love us, what we do over here. Today we're going to be talking about Meshtastic. This is going to be a more and advanced settings on what's going on with Meshtastic, a more advanced talk what you can do with Meshtastic. And I gotta fix the camera because it's overblown. I don't know why OBS does that. It looks beautiful on my screen, but I don't know when it goes out. So sorry about that. We'll fix it later. But in the meantime, we're going to start as always by playing that awesome intro video. Yeah. Quick shout out to all my Patreons who makes the show possible. You can support me by joining Patreon in the link below. And on to Tank Radio. Talk, there we go. All right, y'all. It was with extra enthusiasm this opening because there was a guy in the comments on a short that was saying I was too loud and too obnoxious and too upbeat. Well, you know what? I just doubled down on all that because that's the person I am. Yeah. I look a little better over there now. We're going to start off by the top as always. Thank you to all the Patreon and YouTube members who support Tank Radio. I cannot do this without y'all support. Especially a cool thing coming up I just wanted to announce. It's kind of at the beginning of the end of the month. So go ahead and use your YouTube membership special chats for that to pop up because YouTube doesn't let you roll over. So go ahead and use those members chats. But December is the Tank Radio All Hands meeting. So that means it doesn't matter what supporter level you are, as long as you're a supporter of Tank Radio, you will be invited to the All Hands meeting for the month of December. Paul already sent 5 memberships. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. And all those members will be able to attend the all hands meeting. So thank y'all. I really do appreciate that. Then Buy me a beer and super chats are active. Stickers are over on Jason's website. I might have something new coming up for those. We'll see when they get in. I'm trying to get some cool prototypes. Um, but the thing I want to show y'all, 45, welcome to the stream. They came in. If you pre-ordered a Tank Radio pint glass, they're finally here with the green bottoms. And we got the awesome Tank Radio sticker mounted, crooked, or askewed, because everything in my house is askewed. Everything in Tank Radio is askewed because that's the kind of person we are. If you look at all the pictures in the house, they're all canted. But that's how we are. Ham Raider Crusader used his he's been a member for 28 months. Man, you need to come out to our special all hands meeting. That would be fun. Says, I love me some Meshtastic. Thank you, Frank and Dave. I think that's Dave. He says da. And that's not cutting off. That's what he wrote. Let's get back to the rundown. The audio podcasts. The audio podcasts go out every week. That means there's 2 audio podcasts that aren't on YouTube, aren't on Tank Radio. In order to find them, you got to search Tank Radio in any audio podcast app you have, and you'll find me, Tank Radio, and you get to hear all the other special behind the scenes talk and other YouTubers I have that come on and talk and have fun with me, usually when we're outside smoking cigars. Except, the other last time we did the Texas Hams, it was raining and I couldn't be outside. I think that's it. These mugs, pint glasses look amazing. I can't wait to get them out to y'all. I'm just waiting for some more stickers to get delivered and the boxes to get delivered. And I'll be looking to ship after Thanksgiving. So let me have some downtime. Thanksgiving, then I'm getting these shipped. But I will be working on them slowly and getting them ready. I can't wait to get these out. All right, let's go ahead. I think that's all I had. We're going to bring on Dave. So we're going to talk about some awesome Meshtastic and the more cooler advanced things you can do with Meshtastic. And here we go. How you doing, man?
Pretty good. What's going on, Frank?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
All right.
We are working on all cylinders. No audio issues so far. Other than my camera, I don't know. It's something with OBS like washes things out or downgrades the bit rate. I don't know. I'm getting kind of tired of it, so I might have to rework it all. We'll do that later though. So I heard you had before we get into mesh, a fun radio experience on supporting the community. Do you want to talk a little bit about that off
Sure.
the bat?
With our Race Season Aries team,
we
supported 2 events in one day. We started out with a Spartan race where we had 9 operators on the ground at various locations helping support what was going on. And I think that is my doorbell. That's the electrical company.
Yeah. Do you want to go real fast and come back in a minute?
Yeah. Let me jump back in once I get this figured out.
Okay.
All right.
I will explain what's going on. He's been having some electrical issues with intermittent power outages, and we were hoping that we're able to get all this sorted before the live stream. But of course, they show up during the live stream. A couple of y'all noted, YouTube ads have popped up. I think with the 5 memberships that Prep Pan Paul has gifted, we hit the $10 mark. I forgot to say that off the bat. I will turn off ads after we get a $10 in super chats or in new memberships, because that is more money than I'll ever make in ads, and I'm tired of ads popping up. So to keep this more funded by y'all, the super chats and ads will be turned off after I hit that $10 mark. So I am doing that right now. But yeah, as I was saying, these will be my pint glasses will be sent out. at the after Thanksgiving, and I can't wait to get those to y'all and make those boxes and everything an amazing experience for y'all to open up. Um, but the kind of the thing I'm going to get into with Dave here is I've been using Meshtastic for the last month. I've been having it on my person. I've been carrying mostly the Delta by Spec 5. I also have the C Studios T1000s, and both these devices have been working amazingly. And this device is so dang convenient. Because it's just the form factor is amazing. It's about the size of a credit card. I will show you a credit card, but I'm not going to put a credit card on the internet. I know y'all what y'all do. Um, and it's just this is so useful and helpful, and I hope to get into it later. But I did go to a Renaissance festival, um, and I had two of these Meshtastic devices on the party. I gave one to my girlfriend and one to me, and both of these devices had the GPS positions enabled, so we were able to track each other as we were going around. And if we get lost, we can ping each other and get that information back to us. And that was a one great thing I really did like about Meshtastic, because it gave us the opportunity, and especially when we were at the Renaissance Festival, it was crowded that weekend. It was close to what Hamcation does. I think it was probably around, I'm going to say 15,000 people. When you have that many people in a area, the cell networks are garbage. Tech messages will go through eventually. Calling each other is an absolute nightmare. And if you do get through, we actually had someone in our party lost who did not have a device, and we had to keep calling before until we got a signal through to them, because sometimes it's not about you calling the other person. It's also if that other person has enough activity on that cell network tower, because it might not just be the same tower, because AT&T to T-Mobile or whoever your provider is, both of those towers have to be able to support the call. Meshtastic is amazing because it creates a network of 900 megahertz, and it's a commercial signal, so that no, it was not Scarborough Fair. It was Texas Renaissance Festival over down in the Houston area. We went Barbarian Weekend. It was so much fun. There might be a video coming out. Um, yes, it was using 900 megahertz, a commercial band, and you don't have to be an amateur radio license to utilize these devices. You don't even need the GMRS license to use these. Anyone can pick these up off the shelves. Anyone can get them programmed, and each device out there, amateur radio or not, helps strengthen the mesh network. And that's kind of what it is in a nutshell. And we got Dave back here, and that's kind of what I explained in the last couple of videos. I was talking about Meshtastic, and all right, Dave. I need to find the right transition here. There we go.
Yeah, you gotta love it when the electrical company shows up and go, man, I've never seen that before.
What was it?
Well, the power lines are buzzing. Um,
Yep.
almost like there's an insulator that's bad or something, but it doesn't sound like a bad insulator. I'm seeing it on my like I'm 70 and 10 meter or 40 and 10 meters. I can actually see when it buzzes interference on the radio. So there's something going on. And when it gets really loud out there, the lights will just for maybe half a second dim,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then it'll start to quiet down again, right? And then it'll slowly get louder and louder and louder. And then the lights will just do a little dip and then it'll start calming down again. So I noticed it this morning, and at first I thought it almost sounds like cicadas, right? But it's obviously not cicadas. So yeah, he just showed up and he's like, "So what's going on?" And it started getting really loud. And he just looks up. He's like, "I've never seen that before.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that is." Great.
Ham Radio Crusaders. Tell them just to add another choke.
Yeah, right.
I oh man, but he got it fixed.
Well, no, he has to do a bunch of investigation. They're probably going to have to bring a
Oh
test
man.
crew. He said he'll either call me or text me. I told him I was in the middle of a live stream.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I'm like, but you need to do your thing.
Yep.
And he's like, I'll call you or I'll text you once I kind of figure something out, or we'll let you know what's going on. Cool.
Cool.
All
Cool.
right.
So let's kind of jump into it now. So the Meshtastics. Last time we talked about what is Meshtastic, the basic ways to get it set up. I kind of wanted to go into more of the advanced features of
Right.
Meshtastic, and kind of digging into some of the menus options. I wish I had a way to share my screen nicely. I don't. I sorry guys. Um, Actually, there is kind of a way, but it's a pain. But um, I just kind of wanted to go into the more of the advanced features and explain what other things that Meshtastic can do for you.
Okay. I actually, it's in a box right now, but I have the stuff where I could share my phone
Mm-hmm.
through OBS, but I don't
Oh,
have any of that hooked up right now. Um, so yeah, Meshtastic, go brief and then back up. Decentralized off-grid messaging and location sharing. If you want to share that picture real quick, there's a myriad of different devices that you can use for Meshtastic. They come in all different shapes, sizes, flavors. Some have screens, some have keyboards. That's part of my collection.
that part.
Um, yeah. So, but they all do the same thing, right? And when you go into a lot of the things that people really need to know about is first off, there's constant updates. So keep your firmware updated. It's kind of a pain, but about once a month, go on to flasher.meshtastic.org and reflash your
Is
device.
it that often you need to do that once a month?
Yeah. They've started to slow down. There was a point where it was almost weekly that you would need to reflash your device because they were kind of right after Dayton, not this year, but last year, when the ham radio operators crashed the Meshtastic network at Dayton, they
Mm-hmm.
started coming up with new ideas.
Well, we crashed the Meshtastic devices able to pass messages
Right.
for that localized area. It's not like the
Yeah,
whole
just the
thing went through.
localized area.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah.
like a global thing or anything, but they they heard about it, they saw it, they understood, and so they've been trying to make things better. Especially Meshtastic, thanks to the ham radio community, has kicked off in a very big way where you're getting networks now that have, I mean, that's, come
Mm-hmm.
on, don't look at my face.
Mm-hmm.
That's the
That's
San Antonio
woo.
Meshtastic network right now.
Wow.
Yeah. Um, and even now in San Antonio, we have routing issues, we have collisions, we have, and that's, I think we have, let's see, 152 nodes online right now
Ooh.
in the greater San Antonio area. Um, so we still have collisions and everything else. And the guys at Meshtastic are trying to figure out how to adjust what they've built with the way the firmware reacts because Meshtastic uses flood routing, where your device will just, hey, I'm sending a message,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then these two guys will hear the message, and whoever hears it the weakest transmits it first. Well, it's okay if there's three nodes and this guy's further away, he's going to transmit it first. But when you have four or five people that are all about this far away, they all try and rebroadcast it at the same time. So they're
Mm-hmm.
starting to try and include some sort of intelligent routing
Mm-hmm.
into the firmwares so that um, Dave can stop anytime he wants. Oh, okay. Sorry. Squirrel moment. Um, but so they're trying to figure out with the way it was built off flood routing,
Mm-hmm.
and they're trying to figure out a way now to incorporate some intelligence to it with everything because there's devices out there that have never been upgraded. We have one right now that's on a tower that hasn't the firmware hasn't been updated in a year and a half because we haven't gotten somebody to climb the tower.
Mm.
Uh,
That's kind of
and
something
so
I kind of want to dig into there a little bit later.
yeah,
Um,
so it that node may be
mhm.
causing some of our issues because it's on a different, the algorithm inside of it is operating differently than all
Hmm.
the nodes that have been reflashed, which is
Talking
why
about
it's, go ahead.
flashing, do you want to show the Flasher Meshtastic website on how to do that?
Sure. Let's go right here. Flasher.
This one?
All right. Yeah. You want me to share and walk through it or?
Yeah, we could do that too.
Okay. Um, the screen, share. All right. Can you see it? There
Yep,
we go. So, and we'll pick eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
because you
You're on.
literally have an array of devices.
Yes. So, first thing, flasher.meshtastic.org, right? And the first thing you're going to do is you're going to select your target device.
Hmm.
Um, they've actually made it very pretty neat in the fact
Dude,
that
that's amazing.
it can auto detect. That was my device connecting.
Hmm.
When it's working like it's supposed to, it can actually, these are different things, but you're looking for tiny USB,
Hmm.
hit connect, and this is part of the issue. It sometimes will work and sometimes will not. There we go.
There it
Now,
is. Yep.
what it just did is immediately put my that device into what's called DFU mode.
Hmm.
Um, and you see now it's a Seed Studios WIO Tracker L1. Um, then you have firmwares, right? The top stable beta is what you want to run. Um, Unless you've got something funky. Like these up here actually have a lot of neat extra features, but you pick one of these and then you hit flash, right? And it will go through and explain to you what they've done, what's changed, any fixes, who helped create it. And then, which you can't see it because it's a separate pop up, but
Hmm.
it creates a window pops up, right? And you will download the file.
So there's two different ways I've seen this flasher work. So one of them is it pushes the flash software directly via the website.
You know, this does it via the website, but this
Or
one, because it's an NRF chip,
yes.
you actually have to drag the device over, which
Hmm.
let's stop this one. And I'll show you the easy route with
And that's just kind of the device dependent. Did they have
that's
that
very
chip?
device dependent. So that
Or
was an NRF device,
yeah, so on that
right?
one, you download the software and just drag and drop it into the USB storage that it mounts, and the
Correct.
device auto detects it, and you're done.
Yes. And you're
And it
done.
just reboots and it installs itself. It's
Yes.
super easy.
Where do I have this one?
And
I was trying to find an ESP32 device.
mm-hmm,
This one should be ESP32.
mm-hmm,
And same thing, auto detect.
mm-hmm.
There's the tiny SA port, connect. Now, this one is a NRF.
The other version is pretty simple. It just downloads
It's very
directly
simple.
to the device.
This one should be ESP32 as I'm bouncing around with all the
I
different devices on
I
my
know
desk.
my Haltech 3
Yes.
is one of those, and the first time this popped up saying it needs to download, I had to read the instruction a couple times. I'm like, oh, well, this is different, but still easy. Boom,
Yeah.
done.
So here we're going to auto detect tiny USB. Now, LilyGo T-Beam, this
Mm-hmm.
is a T-Beam Supreme. It's an ESP32 device. So, same thing. Pick the most stable beta, hit flash, scroll down, hit continue, and then you have this screen, which is different,
Mm-hmm.
right? Now, you can do one of two things. You can do a full erase and install, or you can just update to the latest firmware and it'll keep all of your settings.
Mm, nice.
90% of the time, all you need to do is just hit update.
Mm-hmm.
When they come out with a new overall version of firmware, um, that's when you want to do a full erase and install. And a lot of times it will tell you, in order to go to this firmware, you must do a full erase and install. But then you click update. Once again, you pick the tiny USB, hit connect, and
There it is.
it's and it will go through and do the process.
Mm-hmm.
This I don't know. I
It
have one, but I
failed.
don't. Yeah, it failed. And that's the thing is what something everybody needs to remember is this is in constant beta. It is never going to be finished because they're
Mm-hmm.
constantly updating it. So you're going to have little things that work weird. You're going to have things that may not work the first time around, like when I tried to connect to the device. But that's the flasher.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you can also open up a serial monitor and see what's going on.
Oh, that's
Um,
cool.
yeah, another neat website is move this, grab this. You can go to client, and this is some of
Yes.
the advanced stuff you wanted to see.
Yes, I did.
Okay, so is it showing up?
Because then we can also show some of the options better now.
Yes. And you can program it this way.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So here's the beginning of the screen for the client, and it's client.meshtastic.org. All right. You'll create a new connection. Because I have it plugged in, it's a serial connection, new device, and then there's that tiny USB again. Hit connect. It'll give you what the address of the device, one of the addresses. And now it is connected to the device, and you can actually change your configurations. You can see a map
Oh,
of all the
wow.
devices that it has found so far.
Uh-huh.
This one hasn't been on very
So
much.
this is
So,
pulling the data from the device and not through the map client.
correct. This is coming straight from the device
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
and the GPS locations of each one of these devices. And you can see there's my e-ink, there's my solar node, but this is what it has picked up so far.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing, you can go, here's the node list of everything that it has picked up so far. You can see how some of these are seconds ago, some of these are days ago because this hasn't been on for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And that's you can see everybody's their MAC address, you can see what the device is, how many hops away it is, what your signal to noise ratio is, what model those devices are.
Mm-hmm.
But you can also go into config. And this is the same configuration tools that are on in the app on your phone that you
Mm-hmm.
access via Bluetooth. So you can do your device configuration where right now this is a client
Mm-hmm.
and say I want to make it client mute, right?
So can you explain real fast what client mute is?
Yeah. So, and I've got another page that is perfect for that. And that is here. Nope. Here. Here we go. So these are the different modes that a device can operate in. And you have client, which is your regular, everyday, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
That's the default. That's what you want to do. Then you have client mute. And the difference is it does not retransmit a
Mm-hmm.
message that it picks up.
Oh, interesting.
Okay. And there's no prioritized routing. So it does not. And so if you have, say you have a solar node on the roof like I do,
Mm-hmm.
you don't want your nodes inside the house conflicting with the solar node that's going to get better reception,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you do the solar node as client because it's going to retransmit messages and it's going to be a lot better at it. And you put your devices in the house at client mute,
Mm-hmm.
right? If you send a message, it'll still receive the messages that are out on the mesh. And if you send a message, it will still go out over the mesh. It just will not rebroadcast things that it hears,
Interesting.
right? One of the new ones is client base,
Mm-hmm.
right? This is what they created now for my scenario, where you have a solar node on the roof and you have devices in the house. Still has, all the normal things, still will retransmit,
Mm-hmm.
but it prioritizes your favorites. So in my solar node, I have my devices favorited to
Mm-hmm.
that device, to the solar node. So when I send something, it will automatically broadcast out what I sent from inside the house out.
Mm-hmm.
So it acts as
Your
a
relay?
relay of sorts.
But
Yeah.
it's not a full router because that's a
It's not
different
a
one.
router. It's not a repeater. It just kind of relays your message out and it
Mm-hmm.
prioritizes yours. So your message doesn't get pushed into the algorithm because it's a favorite. It sends it straight out, right? Kind of acts like a router, but it's not a router. It's just your devices that it has as a favorite. And then you go into some of the other ones. You can have a tracker,
Mm-hmm.
which is really only if you're trying to save battery life and track something, like taking a T1000, tagging it onto a goat,
Mm-hmm.
like
A goat.
Rob does,
Robert's goats.
right? Robert's goats. So it's going to use less power. It's not going to rebroadcast stuff unless
Uh-huh.
it's awake. It doesn't have, it's visible so you can see where they're at.
Mm-hmm.
The screen, if it has a screen, will be shut off. So it tries to prioritize the fact that its whole purpose in life is so you can see where it's at. And in that setting, when you set it as tracker, it will actually adjust the location reporting to be
Mm-hmm.
faster. It prioritizes location reports over messages and everything else.
Interesting.
All right. Lost and found, I still haven't figured out a use for that because you have to, if you've lost the node,
Mm-hmm.
you have to be able to program the node into lost and found to find it. So
Um, okay, let's spin on that a little bit. I was able, well, not able, but I found a cool feature. So on my device, I'm using the Delta, the Delta device. Um,
you can say it.
this I'm trying to be nice. I'm using the Spec 5 Delta, and this is the my node. And all the other client nodes or the nodes in my network, I found a way to remote admin them in the
Yes,
configurations.
you can.
So, it,
We can get into remote
yeah.
admin in a little bit because that is one of the features now, and it's a lot more complicated than it used to be.
It
Um,
was simple to set up after I understood what it wanted.
yes, but so yeah, you have tracker. So if you lost the device, but it was
hmm
still on the network, you could if you have remote admin,
hmm
and you're not too many hops away, you can actually change it to lost and found, and then once again, it'll actually start transmitting its location more,
hmm
right, to help you try and find it. Sensor is exactly what you think it is. If you had and there's a lot of different sensors that are supported, but say you had a temperature and humidity sensor, right? And
hmm
you had a device out in a remote location that you just wanted to see what the temperature and humidity is at that location. You set it up as a sensor, right? Once again, it tries to stay alive longer, right? No screen, low power consumption. It'll only retransmit if it's awake.
hmm
And then you have TAC and TAC Tracker, which is where you can take ATAC, ITAC, or WinTAC. And there's a plugin for those with Meshtastic where you can utilize Meshtastic to be able to use those. It's a really fancy location sharing and messaging app that the government uses.
hmm
There's a civilian version of it, and there's an integration that you can do with that.
hmm
Now you come into the routers and the repeaters, right? And it used to just be router or repeater.
Oh, there's another option here.
There's now router late.
Okay,
Okay.
let's
So,
get in
and here
that.
we go again with if you look, router and repeater, if you set it to router, your Wi Fi or Bluetooth will no longer work, right? Because it's
Oh,
supposed to be far up on top of a mountain in a remote location,
uh huh.
remote admin into it because it's not easily accessible, no screen, high power consumption because it's going to regurgitate whatever it hears,
hmm
right? So if it picks up a message, it's going to immediately send it out,
hmm
right? Just boom, boom. And that's where you see this prioritized routing, right? It retransmits and it's prioritized, which means it's going to transmit before everybody else.
So, is there a delay on these nodes then? Do you
There
sit,
is. There's
so
there's
a
an
normal
algorithm.
node will take that message that it just received and wait a minute or two, not a minute, but wait a small period of time before it resends it
Yes.
out.
So clients and client bases, there's an algorithm that it's it works off the signal strength of the message that it receives,
Mm-hmm.
right? And with the flood routing of Meshtastic, it tries to the lower the signal strength,
Mm-hmm.
the faster it's going to rebroadcast it. And the idea behind that is being able to take the node that's furthest away and have it retransmit before everybody else. So you get further, right?
Ah,
So that because if you can imagine at, say,
I,
Dayton, right?
I think that just sank into what you said. So the signal strength in the algorithm takes into account how strong that signal is. And so
Yes.
it lessens the amount of time to retransmit.
Hmm.
So the closer nodes have a longer time. And if
Correct.
they hear that message retransmitted again, they won't transmit it because they already heard it. And now it's propagating that message farther because of that lower signal strength. Ah, I see, it comes
Exactly.
together.
Exactly. Um, and that's non-prioritized routing, right? So that's when you see prioritized routing in this column, it's basically whether or not it utilizes the algorithm. Um, Routers do not, repeaters do not.
Mm-hmm.
So they immediately rebroadcast whatever it's at.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever it gets, it sends out.
Mm-hmm.
But they came up with router late,
I see that.
all right? And that is, if you notice, no prioritized routing.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes it to where it uses the algorithm, but it's in a geographic location that it would be beneficial to be a router,
Mm-hmm.
right? Remote location on a tower doing its
But it
thing.
also has Bluetooth and serial enabled.
Yes, but you're also still able to use the device.
Okay. I thought late was like, late night, late shift, adult swim late.
No, it's late in in relation to a router, it's
Okay.
later than the
I
router
tried to make a
on the
bad joke.
retransmit. But those are your current device roles that Meshtastic supports.
Oh,
Um,
so I got a question about these profiles from the chat here. So, if I have a node in the car to go further and and carry my T1000, what should I run for the car's node? Should it be a router or a repeater?
route. Oh no, neither one. Routers and repeaters are saved for geographically remote locations. If
Mm-hmm.
you can imagine, my head is a mountain, and you
Mm-hmm.
have a group of Meshtastic people over here and a group of Meshtastic people over here that can't talk to each other because there's a mountain in the way,
Mm-hmm.
right? You put a router or repeater on top of that mountain. That links them together, right?
So router and repeater, we want them to be the special use case. We want these things to be
Very,
high.
very,
We want these things to, in Arden's term, the super nodes, the backbone.
yep, exactly. They're infrastructure nodes
Mm-hmm.
meant to be, and even with placement of that, you have to make sure that they're geographically separated far enough apart where they're not going to collide with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Because no matter what they get, no matter what signal strength that message has, they're going to collide,
Mm-hmm.
right? And yes, Dell is correct. Everything's a client unless the client mute is really if you have a lot of multiple nodes in the same spot and you have one node that's going to work better than the rest, the one that works better than the rest is the client and everything else is mute,
Mm-hmm.
right? But if he's talking about using the car basically to relay messages, give him a little bit better range,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because it may be a more efficient device than the T1000 hanging off of his hip. They're still just clients.
So the one in the car might be you might want to turn it to a client base.
It could be. It
But
could
if
be
you
a
have the
client
base,
base.
then you need to have them all friended. No,
Well, yeah,
just run
at
it as
that
a client.
point,
I think you're right. In that case, run it as a client because the base is also meant to be a stationary, localized kind of smaller repeater for the
yeah,
house
it's
or
a
a stronger
client.
drain flow. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
it's a client with a better vantage point to the network,
Yeah.
right? That's what a client base would be. And literally, that was designed for people like me who have a node up high and a node in the house,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that I can play on my node in the house and talk to people and let the solar node do the heavy lift
Mm-hmm.
of keeping the network alive
Mm-hmm.
because that node is stationary, right? It's not going anywhere. So it can become an integral part of the mesh.
Mm-hmm.
as a client base, where my device may be on my hip, it may be in the truck as I'm driving away, it may be in a new location. So that's where it's a client or a client mute if it's this one stays in my house at all times,
Okay.
right?
Mm-hmm.
This is my house node. So when I'm in the house, I connect to this and I utilize the favorites with a client base and this on client mute so that I have no conflicts, no, everything works and flows like it's supposed to.
Okay. I just want to say, Don, thank you for the $10 super chat. You did that about 6 or 7 minutes ago.
Thank you, Don.
Thank you, Don. The next kind of thing we're talking about passing messages and all. What is there's a way to get internet or relay messages over the internet?
Yes. It's you can actually tie your Meshtastic node to an MQTT server.
Ooh.
Um, and it's I'm against it,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm kind of an RF purist, right?
I
The
agree,
whole
but some people might want it.
Yeah, the whole point in my mind of Meshtastic is to create a decentralized location and message sharing system where you create a mesh network that operates completely independent of the internet or anything else, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's its world. When you start tying the internet into it, it's like linked repeaters, right? At that point, where you use MQTT to take the guys here in San Antonio were playing with it for a little bit, where they tied San Antonio through an MQTT server to the Rio Grande Valley,
Mm-hmm.
right? Partially because the guys in the Rio Grande Valley were trying to build up a Nesh and there was only a handful of nodes. So they kind of wanted to share the love, right? Was kind of their idea is, hey, we'll tie these two to an MQTT broker. Then you guys can talk to us and we can talk to you. Problem is, if you do that too much, you end up now you have all of the traffic from the Rio Grande Valley
Mm-hmm.
getting dumped through one point into the San Antonio mesh
Mm-hmm.
without the features of the algorithm working like it's supposed to, everything else. It doesn't work like it's supposed to when you start putting in devices that are tied to MQTT. Does have its place. I honestly don't know how to do it because I've never wanted to try.
Okay.
Um, but if you're going to, the key is create a private channel and share it with all the buddies of yours who want to do MQTT and talk to another city
Mm-hmm.
and have MQTT only turned on that private channel. Do not turn it on to the primary channel, right? Turn it on and let's go to this screen. When you go into channel config,
Mm-hmm.
you see uplink, downlink enabled. Send messages from the local mesh to MQTT, send messages from MQTT to the local mesh.
Mm-hmm.
You can do that on any one of the 7 channels that are allowed.
Mm-hmm.
What we ask is do not do it on the primary channel.
Which is long
Create a
fast.
separate channel, and you and your buddies can play on the internet all day long without interfering with the general mesh network.
And if you do that, which device needs to be hooked up to the internet? Just the
Oh,
device that has the Wi-Fi?
yeah, whoever's tying it to the MQTT server.
So only one device in the area needs it, and it will transmit that out then on the private
Correct.
channel, and then the rest of the nodes get it, not
Yep.
each node.
Yeah. But if you're going to do that and you do that on your private channel,
Yeah.
what you want is you check both boxes,
Mm-hmm.
right? That way, whatever you send on that private channel gets dumped out to MQTT, and whatever they send on the other end gets brought into your device. You can have it go one way and one way only. You can have it where you don't send, you don't receive the MQTT stuff, right? Or you can have it where you receive the MQTT stuff, but you're not sending what you're getting out.
Mm-hmm.
So that you can play with it. I don't, I've never actually tried the MQTT.
Okay.
So
I just wanted to bring it up because that is
Yeah,
something some
it
people
is.
do like, and you can have distributed over the network or over the internet, kind of a channel with your friends.
Yep. And
Let's.
it has its place. I could see where it would be fun to have you have a small mesh network. Rob has his mesh
Yep.
network of the goats at his property, right? And if he wanted to share the goat location sharing,
Mm-hmm.
right, and wanted to share with us what he was doing, he could create a private channel. I create the same private channel. We both enable MQTT, and then on that private channel, I will actually pull in whatever he's got going on with the goats.
Nice.
Yeah.
Bill asks, can you do the MQTT on a private IP mesh man magnet type for a private network? Just asking for a stealthy friend. Does that so? Can you route that to an IP address, or does it have to go through the mesh network?
I that's one of the things, like I said, that I've never played with,
Okay.
honestly. I do believe there is the MQTT settings right here, and you can put in a server address, a
Oh, so
username, and a password.
yes, you can. Then that would be
So
over someone's private server. I assume
yeah.
so, but you got to install that software. That's somewhere I don't want to go with tonight. I'm just well,
Well, I mean, once you enable it, you
yeah,
notice that there is the MQTT meshtastic.org
yep.
server, right?
So,
So it has a place to go if you don't have your own.
yep.
But if you have your own, you can put it in.
Okay. Let's go back to the channels, and this is something I had a issue with when I was at the Renaissance Festival. My device itself, I have it when I'm at home. I turn off the precision, and I have it like a mile and a half away. However,
Right.
when I was at the festival and I turned precision on to precise, it's it didn't seem to do it right. So, can you show me how you're supposed to do that?
So, and this is the cool thing about using the client
Mm-hmm.
over the app, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you go down here, if you look at this as your primary channel,
Mm-hmm.
which is called long fast on uh,
Android.
Android devices, and it's called primary on Apple devices.
Yay,
Um,
because that's not going to cause confusion.
right. You go down here, and you can actually change,
Uh-huh.
right, what it is. Now, if you notice, the closest I've got is within 80 meters,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's because this device was tied to a Apple device,
Mm-hmm.
and so precise location isn't allowed. The way you get around that is you go to one of your private channels, like you
Mm-hmm.
did with your girlfriend, right? You go down here, and now you have precise location.
Mm-hmm. So how
Um,
does that work? Because I thought I set that up on my device where I had precise location enabled for the private channel, but then for long fast it was transmitting the mile and a half difference. Is it trying to transmit both of them,
it
or
does both.
it
So
does
what it
both?
does is when it shares its location, right? It will. What's the right word for it? We do the same thing with APRS, where it dilution of precision, right? It will take. It knows where you're at, but it will create a bubble that you
Mm-hmm.
could be in, right?
Mm-hmm.
It does that on the primary channel,
Mm-hmm.
and then on the private channel, it will actually at the same time dump out your precise location,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, which is how, and it gets a little goofy when you're looking at your device because you, like, say you and I are on a private channel,
Mm-hmm.
we both have precise location, right? I'm going to know exactly where you're at on my map because we have a private channel with precise location sharing.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else in the world is going to see bubbles around us that we could be within this geographic location, which you can now go all the way up to 23 kilometers. Um, right. So now I'm
Mm-hmm.
in a different city.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and so that's the weird part about how it works is you and I will see each other exactly where we're at, but the rest of the mesh who isn't on that private channel will see that we're in a general area
Okay.
somewhere.
And so, all right, all right. I like that. I like that because I was kind of confused on how to look that up and get it set right. So I set them both to precise, and when I got home, I turned it off.
Yeah. And on an Android phone, from
Hmm.
your phone, you can actually, well, now it's doing it. You can set precise location,
Yep.
right?
Hmm.
Um, and I honestly, when we start talking about location sharing, some of the misconceptions that people have is, I have a solar node on the roof, right? There is absolutely no reason for me to share the location of that solar node.
Hmm.
It's an infrastructure node. Um, there's no need, right? And there's no need. I mean, I have devices that don't have GPSs on them. And if you're just wanting to do the locate, the messaging side of it, turn your location sharing off if you want. There's nothing that says you have to have a GPS. There has to be devices with GPSs on the network
Hmm.
because it helps keep everything in time, right? That device that has a GPS is going to utilize the time feature of the GPS to help keep the network in time. And the more the precise, but you don't have to. Um, so you don't have to have a node with all the bells and whistles if it's going to be an infrastructure node.
Hmm. Okay. I I like that. That's all I can think of on the channel settings. Where do you want to go next?
Well, we can go over some of the radio config a little bit.
Okay.
We went over the different types of devices,
Hmm.
right? Um, unless you've got buttons and buzzers, this doesn't really matter. But you have a rebroadcast mode, right? If you want to be somewhat isolated, if you don't want to contribute, so say you want to build your own little mesh network
Hmm.
and you don't care about helping everybody else out, right? You can actually go in here and you can do no decoding,
Hmm.
known only. So just the people that your node has picked up it'll only rebroadcast those. So you're not helping people hop, right?
Hmm.
Um, local only, known only, which local only means that you've never seen the telemetry from that device, but it's you picked it up. And then it goes even deeper with core port nums, all skip, but you can actually pick and choose what you're going to rebroadcast.
Hmm.
Um, generally, it's all, right? Because everybody wants to contribute to
And
the
it
greater
helps
net.
the network as a whole.
Yes. This is how often you want it to broadcast, right? And the default is 1,800 seconds,
Hmm.
whatever that comes out to. Um, this number keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger as the mesh networks grow, so that there's more airtime, right? If everybody is transmitting their location every minute, there won't be any airtime left on that single channel for people to actually send a message.
Hmm.
Um, so this gets bigger and bigger. But once again, if you are, and I don't know if it'll do it automatically, but if I set to tracker, no, it doesn't through this. If you set to tracker in your phone, it'll
Hmm.
automatically speed this up,
Oh,
right?
yeah, because
Um,
it's sending that information out more.
yes. So if you want it to report more often, right? If you're at a Ren fair
Hmm.
and you want to be able to see where your significant other or your friends are in real time, you can change this
I
down to
I
60
did that
seconds.
in precision. Um, scroll up. There's the option for position,
Yeah, there's other ways
and
that
then
you
this
can
is where I adjusted it for how often it reported the
the
your
location.
yeah.
Yes. This is reporting that you're out there,
Okay.
right? Um, and then, time zone strings, and whether or not some people, and I've heard a lot of people complain that like this has a heartbeat, right?
Hmm.
And it's a very bright LED.
Yeah.
They don't want the heartbeat. Well, this is where you turn it off, is right
Oh,
down here.
nice. I'm gonna do
Yeah.
that with mine. The Heltech version 3 that has a bright
Yes.
orange
very
light
bright.
on it.
And
Oh my
yeah.
god. I always have to put something on it when I'm charging it in the same room I'm sleeping in.
So yeah, then you go over to position sharing,
Hmm.
right? Um, Smart positioning, just like APRS, right?
We covered
Where
positions in the last one. Can we jump up
okay,
to security?
sure.
Yeah, I kind of want
This
to
is your
dig in some of
keys.
these. Yes.
Yeah. So you have a private key and you have a public key,
Hmm.
right? I don't, the new encryption that they're using, I forget the name of it, but it uses both keys. And you share your public key with people. And then when you message them, you share a private key with people. And
Hmm.
that's how everything stays encrypted. But this is where your admin settings, right? So what you do is if you want to remote admin some
Hmm.
devices, you have your primary admin key, right? And this is authorized, the one that is authorized to send admin messages to your node. So this is the other node's admin key.
And that is the public key.
Yes.
So a node on the delta here. If I want my delta to be the administrator of this device, because this is the one I'm giving out to my friends and
You
girlfriends.
you put your private key
No,
in the primary admin key
you put the public
of
key.
no, your private key. Okay, that's one of the changes. It used to
Yeah,
be you take your private key and you put it in
yeah.
to the receiving node so that
I think now it's the public key of the device you want to admin on.
send
So
out
I will
another
put the
notification.
delta's key, public key, into the admin key for that device. Yes,
So you would do that.
yes.
All right. But
And
you would do it
then
from the other device. The other device is public key because
yeah.
this won't do
So
anything.
the device you want to be admitting, you put the device that you're connected to it with public key onto this guy. And
Okay.
then you can go into it in the application and hit. Each device has remote administration, but if you don't have that key in there, it will try to request it and it will say nope, and you get kicked out.
Gotcha. Then there's this. This is my favorite checkbox right
What
here.
what is that? That's new to me.
Okay. So what the admin used to work off of a private channel. You would create a channel called admin,
Okay.
right? And you would put that private channel on all of the devices that you want to remotely administer. Uh,
Oh.
and that was before the new encryption type,
Mhm.
right? So
Mhm.
you would take a channel, you would create a channel, you would have an encryption key for that channel, and then you would just put that on every device, right?
Mhm.
And then you check, and that's how remote administration used to work. That was how it's set up. So this allows that to happen, and you notice all this stuff then grays out, and you can't do
Yeah.
anything with it, right? Because then it's channel based. You just put the channel in every device. It's not as secure as
Mhm.
the multiple key
Mhm.
function, but it's also the easiest.
Mhm.
Because then you're just on each device, you put admin and Dave Rocks 4321,
Yep.
right? As the key for each one of them. And it's simple and it's easy to remember because it is not a 256-bit encryption key that is a bunch of random characters.
Mhm.
So that's what that does. And then, of course, you got debugging, serial output enable.
Yeah.
This is where, if this node, like the one I'm connected to right now via the
Yeah.
cable, if you don't want that feature to work, you just
Is that
check that box.
enabled or disabled by default?
That
Because
is
I was
enabled.
that is enabled. I can't get
Yes.
my device to connect here. I don't want to troubleshoot, but I was trying to do that too. All
Now,
right.
if you make a change,
Mm-hmm.
you do have to. One of the new features of it used to be if you made a single change, you'd have to save and reboot. Make another single change, save and
Oh,
reboot.
that's garbage.
What they've done now is you notice that device, because I changed it,
Yeah.
right? It's got a little blue dot. Security, because I changed something. I don't
Yeah.
know what I changed.
It's
It's got a
saying,
little blue dot.
yeah, the saying is there's unsaved changes right now at the
Yep.
top.
And then you can hit save and it will save all of the changes instead
Oh,
of
that's so
going through.
nice. You don't have to do it
Yeah.
page by page
Don't have to do it page by page
because you
anymore.
got to do it page by page on the app.
Yes.
Um, oh, that's so beautiful. That makes this client really more useful.
Yeah. And you can go through, I mean, there's network settings if you want to be able to connect to your device via the Wi-Fi.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you turn on Wi-Fi, it shuts off Bluetooth, right? So
Okay.
now it's a Wi-Fi only device.
Oh.
Uh, that does say some devices, some of the newer devices that
Mm-hmm.
are ESP32 can do both. But
Mm-hmm.
generally, rule of thumb has always been if you turn on Wi-Fi, it shuts off Bluetooth.
Mm-hmm.
Just because the ESP32 devices weren't able, there's some GPIO pins or ports in these devices that are utilized for different things.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the worst ones is this, which is the indicator,
Yep.
right, by Seat Studios. This will not work on Bluetooth um, if you're using the new UI, right, the
Mm-hmm.
fancy UI. And that's because in order to use the screen a specific way, it utilizes the GPIO port that the Bluetooth has to use.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So you have to go in here and tell it to go to Bluetooth mode, which disables the UI and then
Oh.
allows you to connect to it with your phone.
But you can configure all that on the UI on the device.
Correct.
So there's
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Okay.
I mean it's here nor there, but
Yeah.
you got to remember all of these devices except for the Seed Studio L1 are all repurposed IoT devices. Every single one of the ones that you saw in the picture. Oh, I'm sorry. And this was a Meshtastic node. This is not a repurposed IoT device, but everything else is repurposed IoT devices. So they had a different purpose in life
Mm-hmm.
before they got into this. But yeah, you can set up a web client to be able to connect to it. Um, you can change your display settings, right? If you have a different display than what's standard, because you can actually have, I haven't gotten one yet, but there's a Crow
Mm-hmm.
panel. It's a 7-inch screen, Meshtastic device. It's got a 7-inch touchscreen, and I really want that thing. So,
Is
and then
there
you
a
have your mesh settings,
mm-hmm.
your regions, your hop limit. Everything comes standard at 3 hops.
Yep.
You can make it up to 7 or as little as 1. And in case somebody is dumping MQTT onto the primary channel, you can actually ignore it.
Oh, that's nice. Is there a way to have a way to disable because some devices, especially the T1000, makes noise when it receives a message.
So
So
that
can I
is,
disable the external notifications?
yes, you can do it from here. So right now we've been in radio config, right?
Yep.
Over here. If you go to module config,
Mm-hmm.
this is where you can do a lot of neat stuff. But if you go to external notifications, right,
Mm-hmm.
and there is the nag timeout right here.
Mm-hmm.
If you have one, and so like this device, I actually have external notifications turned off completely,
Okay.
right? So it's not going to make any noise. It's not going to vibrate. Some of them vibrate, whatever. It's not doing anything. But if you click that on, the nag timeout is like that doo 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 you
Yeah.
get. If you get a brand new device, that nag timeout is actually set to 60, which means it's going to repeat that doo 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 for 60 seconds
Mm-hmm.
unless you put the user button.
Yep.
That's the only way to shut it up. But if you
Is
set this to,
can you have that notification per channel? So can on the device and with the app, I can mute channels. Can I
right,
mute channels with the external
no,
notifications?
it's either on or off up here,
Tell
either
them to get on
enabled.
it. Because I want my channel to make noise. I don't want long fast to make noise.
Right.
I do you have any? We're at the top of the hour here. Do you have any
Yeah, we are.
devices that you want to give a special shout out over on the C Studios?
Yeah, the only thing the coolest one that we've got right now is the L1. Um, and where's the one? So If you want to
Yeah,
embiggen
I
me.
can embiggen you. Hold on. That wasn't a transition I was ready for.
All right, so this is in a different case, right? But this is the Seed Studio L1.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I got a nose itch. Sorry, guys. It actually has a joystick, right? So if I can put this in front of my face and
Mm-hmm.
maybe get it to focus,
Oh,
you can actually use the joystick, and this is it's locked up because I was in the client software,
yeah.
uh, and I had it in DFU mode. So just shut it off, turn it back on. But this is the guts of it, right? And
Ooh.
it has a joystick over here where you
Mm-hmm.
can go up, down, left, right, right? And then a user button. Um, there we go. So with the new firmware menu, when you use it, it actually goes through, you can use the joystick to go through different menus. And then in each menu, when you push the button,
Mm-hmm.
it gives you a sub menu that you can
Ooh.
operate on. Um, and so, like, I can do a trace route on a device that I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
So you can actually operate this without a phone.
Oh,
Uh,
nice.
including go over to messages and oh, that's right, I updated this one. Um, in one of the experimental firmwares, one of those alpha firmwares,
Mm-hmm.
um, you push the button for messages and it'll say, "Do you want to send a new message?" And it'll be you can either have canned messages in there, right? That'll
Mm-hmm.
just push a button and it'll send, "Hey guys," or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. And then it says, "Do you want to do a custom message?" And then it brings up a little keyboard, and you can use the joystick to move up, down, left, right, and type out a message and then send it.
Nice.
So gives you the ability to operate the node completely independent of your phone instead of having a big, huge device with a keyboard.
Right.
You now have a small device with
If if someone's getting into Meshtastic, what device would you recommend to be the first go-to? See, I thought you were going to say that because
yes,
it's simple, it's small, it doesn't have an antenna you could break.
that's it. It's waterproof.
Yeah.
Dude tested, did a great video where he tossed it out of his truck. He ran it over. He
Oh
pressure
wow.
washed it. Um, yeah. And I can attest that this exact device right here has actually sat on the dash in Texas heat in my truck.
Nice.
And these have a temperature sensor in them,
Mm-hmm.
and the temperature sensor maxes out at 155 degrees.
Okay.
And I know that now
I
because
will
that's
say
where it
the
maxed.
only gripe I have with this device is this slot. This slot is
Yes,
too small. You
it
can't
doesn't
put the
fit.
normal like ID tag holders in here. It was a pain in the butt to get that paracord through there.
But for the low price of $2, you can get a very pretty leather
you
lanyard
you
with a
know what?
swivel.
I will give you all that. Yeah, yeah. Okay, you made an accessory, but you didn't Appleize the accessory.
No, we didn't.
No, the Apple that would be another $20.
Yeah.
$40 device and a $20 holder, but for
Yeah.
$2, okay.
Yeah. And
I'm
it's
just
actual leather.
hmm
It's swivels.
swivels.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's my well, and also I understand why you chose the charging port. It just makes it kind of easy when I'm charging it to
that
knock it
is
off.
the biggest complaint from everybody is the charging port. But
Yeah,
it was done to maintain the IP rating.
and I understand that. I'm just this needs to be a better connector, you know?
But they're working on a second generation T1000.
Yeah.
And that was the biggest thing I told them. I was like, look, if they can put waterproof USB on cell phones and all these other devices, you guys can figure out how to put a wireless USB or a waterproof USB
Mhm.
on the bottom of this guy,
Mhm.
right? The only problem is it's going to make it thicker.
Mhm.
And they wanted to try and get this as thin as possible.
I can understand that too. And I just
Yeah.
love the compactness of this. All right, Dave, man, thank you for coming on. Where can we find more about you and anything else coming up?
Well, I have a YouTube page that's got 3 videos on the Meshtastic solar node. Um, I will probably be posting some other stuff about my transition from moving from a house to living full time in an RV.
Mhm.
Um, But yeah, so it's KB5UTY-Dave, just like my username. So if you want to go check out the videos, go for it. Um, it's pretty kind of informative. If it goes from the beginning to the end of taking it out of the box and then putting it on the roof with an
Nice.
external antenna and a temperature and humidity sensor. So, but yeah, besides that, as Mike K8MRD likes to say, is just find me on somebody else's stream because I seem to be
Right.
on all of them.
Right. Thank you, Dave. I appreciate it. Hold on for a second. I know we went a little long and into Jason's stream, but it was good, and I wanted to cover the topics there and get them well covered. So, and I think we did that amazingly. Y'all have been amazing and awesome. Let's look at the viewer activity. Thank you to Prep and Paul for gifting the 5 subs. Thank you to Frequency Frontier for using his membership. And thank you to Ham Radio Crusader, use the membership message. And thank you to Don, $10. Both Don and Paul made this live stream free for everybody forever. Y'all are amazing. As always, go forth and conquer. Say bye. Bye, Dave. Bye, Dave. I'm
Bye.
holding for you. Now I'm looking for the end. There it is. Thank you to all my Patreon supporters. You can support me on Patreon. There is a link in the description below. And to all my tankers out there, go forth and conquer.